Alrighty, hello. We are back with another video game video. And I had a friend who was asking how to play Overcooked. So this is going to be more of a how-to than the last two videos. So here we are in Overcooked All You Can Eat, which is definitely my preferred Overcooked. It has both the first and second game with some extra trimmings, and you get 4K 60 frames a second on the PS5, which just means it looks prettier and smoother. So first thing you want to do, the most important thing you want to do is pick who you're going to be. And it's Shark Week. Shark Week. So we're going to go with the shark. And I don't know if those are two different kinds of sharks, but I'm going to go with the bigger one. Alrighty. And I'm going to go with Overcooked 2 because I think it's more fun. I've never played with just one person before, so I'm not sure how that will work out, but let's go to 1-1 just to show some basics here. Alrighty, so when you get into Overcooked, it will generally tell you what the recipe is that you're going to make. So here we have two things. We're making chopped fish in one way, chopped fish in another way. The only difference is the kind of fish. Okay. Oh, it gives you two people. I guess you can, so you can switch between them. I'm not really going to worry about that. I'm just going to show you. So let me press start here, highlight the controls. And you can just focus on the one on the left. The one on the right is if you're using two people for one controller, which don't recommend. So yeah, you got emote, dash, pick up, drop, chop, throw, and move. Moving is pretty straightforward. Picking up is with X. Chopping is with square. You do have to hold square to chop. Oh, that's not true. I just let go and it's still chopping. Good to know. Look at that. Alright, then you put it on a plate and boom, we just sent our first order and we got a +8 tip. So really with Overcooked, one of the most important things to do is just keep track of what the orders are, because at the end of the day what you're trying to do is fill orders and as fast as you can. So you can kind of see in the top left there are different bars. Those have 3 green bars, but they're slowly depleting, so the longer you take, the less of a tip you get. And then the more orders you string together quickly, the higher tip you get. I think if I do another one, you might see the tip bar go on fire. Yeah, there you go. Alrighty, so we got chopping, plating, pretty down pat. But what you just saw is that those plates were already put out for us. So one thing that you kind of want to do, especially as you get further on in levels, is get an idea of what's happening with the plate situation. Sometimes you'll have plates given to you. Sometimes you'll need to wash your own plates. And usually there will be like a dishwashing station at some point. And pretty much square is like your action button for everything. So if you're chopping or washing or putting out a fire, which does become a very integral part of the game later on, that's all going to be with square. Circle is to dash, which can also be really useful. Sometimes there are conveyor belts and things like that, or if like someone is just being in your way, you can kind of just dash past them. And then you can emote either with the touchpad, or I like to just kind of press triangle. Cursing is a very important part of the game too. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think what I should do now is show you a more complicated level, because this one's a little bit too simple. Maybe some helpful tips while we wait. You can put stuff on the ground. So if you're ever kind of like overwhelmed with like counter space, you can just drop things on the ground and pick them up later. Oh, what's that? Nice. Alrighty, so that was 1-1, which is the very first level of Overcooked 2. Pretty straightforward, they don't want to overwhelm you. Let's do 3-2. And I think with this one we're making... Oh, this one is Okay, I thought it was more. It's just burgers. Cool. So for burgers, and whenever you do something for the first time, it'll tell you what to do. But for burgers, you're chopping meat, and you're putting that meat on a skillet. And whenever you have skillets or pots, things can burn. So that little green bar at the bottom will tell you kind of what your progress is there. And what I like to do whenever my meat is cooking is just go ahead and get buns on plates. And whenever you have a teammate, it's a lot easier to kind of work through these things. You don't have to do everything. Okay, and this one you actually have moving stairs too and a teleportation thingy. So one thing I would say about the burgers is you kind of always want to have meat cooking. So like right now we're just wasting time, whereas like some meat could have been cooking while I was doing this. And one thing that I also want to show you is that whenever you have things cooking, they can burn. And when they do inevitably burn, you want to be able to let out some curses and stop the fire. So this is honestly when you start cooking things when things get a lot more stressful in the game, because this beep can really elevate things. But it does give you a good while. Like once it gives you the first beep, there is a good bit of time. So fire just started, and if you leave the fire unattended, it should spread. Yeah, so you're starting to see it kind of move up here. So you do want to get out fires as quickly as possible, and you're just holding square to do that. So once you get your fire done, then you need to clear your dish. So you can see right now it's just it's a mess. There's nothing cookable in there, so you have to throw it away. That's a little trash can, and you can treat it back as a normal skillet. So that's pretty much it though. I think those are kind of like the big tips. If I did have to mention something else, I would just mention that in Overcooked 2, whenever you're driving, sometimes there are these platforms that need to go up. In order to do that, you have to press a button. Like this button opened up this little bridge here, and this button opened up this little bridge here. Sometimes they can be a little tricky to find, so keep your eyes peeled for those. But yeah, and you can dash in the car too to drive a little bit faster. I don't think you can, yeah, you can't emote in the car, it doesn't look like. But yeah, I hope these tips are helpful. I hope these get you at least 2 stars and kind of go from there.